When you look at businesses, I think to grow and build a successful business, every business has one or two moats. It could be on scale, it could be on competitive advantage, it could be on network. When I look back in time and when I talk about network, I think Jio was a classic example of cost and network. All of this packaged into maybe 1 year of time, right? But fundamentally, I think the way you scale up a business remains the same. When we look at some of the companies where I have done work, in fact, this morning I was with a large spice manufacturer, which was having a market share for the last decade, of 40% plus in Delhi, Rajasthan, MP, UP, the Northern India belt. Today it slipped to number 4. And we were having a discussion that what is the cause of why you slipped to number 4, of course. And if you look at how you protect and defend your turf, the moats remain same. The principle, the way you apply it today becomes very different. So it's not fair to say, okay, I'm a successful business and therefore I don't need to do much. The principles of moat remain same. The way you apply it is more with analytics, more with technology. I think that is changing. I'm a big believer of innovation, actually. Innovation in moat would be very important. So if you are not really asking what's the next best idea and why would my product not lose market share 2 years down the line, I think that's the space to watch out for.
The focus was really in the initial years to, create a cash flow beast. I mean, unless we are generating that cash flow within the system, that flywheel does not start, giving the energy momentum to the other aspects of the business.
So was that the reason that you chose to have a premium pricing, that the fact that you wanted to have a robust cash flow also coming along?
Yes, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to build a business which has strong fundamentals. And the strong fundamentals is having a strong gross margin. And that gross margin in a category as milk, at least, I mean, every category has its own nuance. I mean, your ability to sustain and to, play the longer game will be to have that strong gross margin. That will only come in if you have consumer love. People will trust you when they're paying a slight premium and the product is delivering. So there's not one point, but it's saying you look at the whole piece together and balance it out.
One strong moat that you think, like I said, I'll go back to what I was saying, read the mega trends early on. How does it impact your specific industry? Today, if I look at mega trends, you call them actually creative destruction, right? So you've got to embrace them. Now, whether that's, from my side, for instance, what I can read as an early trend is ESG, SDG, they're all here to stay. And they're going to be massively disruptive. They're also going to create huge wealth. It's just for us to read early on. Now, in terms of how I link it to banks, how they're reading this, sustainability risk is here to stay. Right now, the banks don't attach a premium to it. So polluting, non-polluting, it's not a big difference. And it's only a negative filter right now. But it's a matter of time where there will be penal clauses potentially lining up. So a lot of those businesses, if they can read these trends early on, will realize. Now, a classic point I can draw is how the fund managers in our industry are reacting today. So 3 years back, if they were to come, nobody was interested in the ESG part of their funds, right? And today, even if it's a non-ESG fund, they're definitely making it a point to say that my ESG score is 80%, which means my companies are 80% ESG compliant. So I think read these trends, and for me, that will be a big...
sustainability, is that for you?
No, I think, being customer-centric is the most important mode, I think. And for me, this business that I'm doing in this business in Bharat. And I think Bharat has huge potentiality. There is a huge opportunity for our country to grow, consumption to grow. We've got such a large potentiality to become bigger. Every one of us, there's a huge potentiality for us to just anticipate big things, look ourselves to that mode, invest in the right areas, and believe in our story, and become customer friendly and centric, so that we are able to drive this growth regularly.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to repeat, wholeheartedly agree with what has been said by Lalit earlier, but I think the time has come for the focus to shift from the economic moats to the non-economic moats, which is the human aspect of it. And we need to be very intentional about the culture, the space, and weaving in purpose and economics in businesses now, because I think fundamentally all of us, our equation with work and what we want from it has changed. So probably it's this era is going to define that.
Sanjesh.
Very simple from my point. I think it's just innovation, innovation, innovation. I think the culture of innovation, if we can even get it to the extent of 30% in most businesses, where you start your business meeting in any format that we're doing. We could be a FMCG company or an apparel company or a footwear company. I think if we can build the culture of innovation in our leadership, that will sort of protect the turf for a foreseeable future.